Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today is a very fun, busy day, and I can say fun because I'm not the one doing the physical labor. What we are doing is we are of course working on the front yard landscape redesign. That is this massive project that we are tackling this late summer, early fall. So what's happening today is we have got a wonderful crew of fellas here today. We are putting in the edging along the driveway. So this is going to go along the driveway and along the sidewalk at the front of the house. Now, y'all, these blocks arrived yesterday and they are substantial. So let me show them to you and kind of give you an overview of what the goal is for today. It's very, very exciting. Love this kind of, because you can actually see progress being made. So what we have here, one, you can see the fellas are working. We are going to get to that in just a minute and talk about what they are doing. But what we have here is all the products that we are using. The stone, the pavers, and this edging is from Belgard. We get them from our local Site One. We have used Belgard products in the past, love them, and they are great quality. So what this one is called is the Anglia Edger, and this is the Cotswold Mist color. So basically it's a lovely gray, right? So we have, let's go over here because this palette is already open and you can see what it looks like up against the stone. So there are 4 sizes in this. There's the extra large, large, medium, and small. And when I say, I think you can see, these guys are substantial. So they are meant to go along driveways, sidewalks, high traffic areas, literal traffic areas. And what you do is you actually bury quite a bit of this edger into the soil. So here you can see that they've already done part of this against the pad here at the hose link. So you can see that they have a nice base of that 89 gravel. Then they sink about 5 inches of it. And then you have 3 to 4 inches sticking up, right? So you can see that that is what it is going to look like. So on the paver side and the driveway side, you've got 3 to 4 inches exposed. However, on the flower bed side, once it's all said and done, then we can bring our soil back, and it won't be obviously even because I don't want it flowing over, but it will be just under this lip. So you're not going to see all of this exposed stone because of course we will backfill with soil. So this kind of gives you an idea. Now, speaking of, we haven't shown you, and I know that the sun's a little challenging right now, but Chandler and Israel finished this on Saturday, and so this is the went ahead and decided to put pavers here because this is a high traffic area. You know, typically I will have like my bench right here. We had a container here on the end. And then we have up against the wall, we have our hose link. And so to kind of get up out of the gravel and everything, decided to go ahead and put the stone here. This too is that Belgard product. I will go back and look, and we talked about it before. I'll either link it or show you, but we decided to go in that herringbone pattern. So it's in that herringbone pattern, but then you can see that it is framed out. So there's a frame around the entire edge of this area. Basically, it's an L-shaped with that herringbone pattern. This is what the sidewalk's going to look like. So this is like exactly what you're going to see with the sidewalk and that look. So you can see, look how pretty that is, right? So there's a nice little color contrast between the edger and then the pavers. And the edger is basically the exact same color as the retaining wall that we have with the cottage garden and the terrace garden over there. So it all ties in together quite nicely. So what's happening right now is the fellas are basically literally digging a trench. You can see that they have the stakes up with the yellow line. So where the yellow line is, that's where the top of the edger is going to be. So that way it's all even all the way down. So because you have to bury so much of this to make it nice and strong and substantial, they're having to dig out. So they're going to dig out. I'm not sure if they're going to put down a base of the gravel after they do that. Obviously, as you can see, we have lots of red clay, so we don't really have to worry about the clay moving. I don't know if, like I said, they're going to put that down. We'll find that out later. So that is what they are doing. Their goal is to make it down the length of the driveway on this side today. Now, a little bit earlier in the morning, they also went ahead and moved the irrigation lines because not lines, the heads. So the irrigation heads at the beginning of the project, you can see the hole. They were all the way out here in the driveway. Obviously, we don't want that. So then this morning, what they did is they relocated them, and you can see this head right here. So it will be in the flower bed, but just on the other side of the paver. So we don't have to worry about running over them, that kind of thing. And the same thing on this side, like this guy was way over here. Remember, these were put in almost 21 years ago when we built the house, so then we pulled them way over here. These sprinklers on this flower bed are misters, so they're not like big streams, they are misters. And we don't run our lawn irrigation very much. We just don't need to most of the time. And so like this year, I don't think we ran it at all this year. But putting in all of this new landscape that we're doing, of course, you know, yesterday you saw us put in the trees and the shrubs. So exciting. So if the rains stop, which they can sometimes do here in the fall in the south, then we have a way to go ahead and irrigate it. And of course, we've got the hose link right here, so if we need to water things, we absolutely can do that. So that is the goal today, is for them to get as far down as they can. We got 5 guys here today, and so I was talking to Chandler, and if they can get all the way down the length of the driveway to the orange cone, that would be amazing. They're not going to touch the sidewalk today. You can see that we have roped it off because Saturday Chandler and Israel got it graded, got the gravel down, and so it is where they need it to be. And so in order to keep delivery people, or even us if we forget, not to walk on it. And then of course with the dog, she is not allowed to free roam in the yard right now. So when we come out, she is on a leash because she could mess up this grade super fast, running and tearing through as a 90-pound German Shepherd. We do not want that. And so there you go. So that is what they are doing today, what we are doing today. Huge progress. Now, we are not going to be planting anymore until they get through. So, I mean, obviously today there's a lot of going on. And so as soon as this bed gets edged out, then I can come back in and start putting in more plants, transplanting my perennials that are there, moving those around. But right now they get the right of way, right, for the day, and get to have whatever it is that they need to get through here. So once all that's done, then I can go ahead and start moving and planting in there. So that is what is happening here at Creekside Nursery, gardening with Creekside. Very exciting, and it is a lovely, beautiful Carolina blue sky here, very dry. It feels lovely. It's a great day to be outside. So I will keep you posted. I'll meet you back here in just a little bit and give you an update. My friends, it is about 4:45 in the afternoon, so it's just a little bit of time has passed since I saw you last. I had an appointment in town, and I got distracted with another project, filmed another video, but it all worked out great because the fellas have gotten so much work done. You can see that they are still working. Y'all, it looks so good. We did not see this block until the block actually arrived here at the house yesterday. So we were going on faith and a prayer that we actually like this block, and we do. It looks so nice. So before we get into the edging, I do want to show you and come back here to this little pad right here. So Chandler went ahead and put concrete, this is still nice and kind of fresh right here, put concrete in right here up against this edge. That's going to hold that in really nice and tight. You're not going to see that concrete, because when we do the final grade and have the gravel, then that will come up on here. And yes, I am sure that some of that gravel will spill up on top of the sidewalk, little pad area right here. Again, it is not a problem, but it just looks so nice. We will seal this stone, get it nice and clean. I think they have to come back through with a little bit more of the locking sand that goes in. When they were doing it on Saturday afternoon, they were racing a thunderstorm that was coming, and so it does have still has a little bit of gaps and areas that need to be filled in, but that's not a problem. They can come back and do that. And then of course had to come and sign it, you know, always date it. My daddy always taught me, when you have concrete, you always got to date it. So I signed our last name, and then that is September of 2025. So there you go. And then look at that, y'all. Isn't it pretty? And so straight. It's lovely. Now, yes, obviously this corner piece has not been done. They're going to come through here, and I think they have to either cut it, or maybe they were saving it for the, I don't know why. But anyway, the corner will be done. So that's the block for that piece right there. They may have been saving it to be able to have the string. So that's what I'm kind of thinking maybe that they were doing. And then, so once they got this bed all in, and the neat thing is too, as Chandler was saying, he likes it because the pieces are irregular. So it doesn't have to be like perfectly straight, which it is perfectly straight, but it has that irregular form to it. And so it looks really neat and natural. So then they came back through and then backfilled with the soil that they had to dig out in order to put the trench in. And so we have a nice little lip that varies through here. Now, obviously, because we're going to come through, and now I have free reign to come in and move plants however I want to in here, because the edging is on and it's done. So I can come in here and do whatever I want, add those plants in, and then we can go ahead and top dress. Everything is done. So that will be good to go. So we can move at our own pace in this flower bed. So the green flags are the markers for where the French drain is. That way I don't put a 15-gallon plant right on top of it and drill through the brand new French drain. So that is the visual marker for me to know that that's where the French drain is. And then the orange flags are where the sprinkler heads are. So that's kind of the heads up on that. Then they came through on the back side and just laid down a nice little thin layer of the 89 gravel, just trying to get us out of the dirt, right? Because if it rains, we don't want any kind of red mud, clay splashing up on the block, which will happen if it does rain, which I don't think they're calling for rain right now, but this is just a way to get us out of the nastiness. We are planning, and those of you that are very technical and in that mindset, this is not the actual final grade of the driveway, because we did all of that trenching, of course, for the drainage. And so those trench lines, they're sinking, right? Because that's what it is. You got to dig out the soil, you put the soil back in, and it takes a while to get it nice and compact. So with all of us driving back and forth and deliveries and everything, it's making it sink, which is a good thing because we want it to sink. That way, when we move gravel around, then it'll be nice and tight and it will be good. So just know that there is still a lot of work to be grading done on the driveway. We're just trying to get ourselves kind of up out of the dirt and the mud. Because if you haven't had red clay or experienced red clay, once it gets on something, it is very hard to get that stain out. Whether it's your clothes, your shoes, concrete, stone, whatever. Red clay, it stains. And so it's a fun little friend we have around here. So yeah, so they're doing great, and they're working on down the line here. Of course, there is not going to be the edging where the sidewalk is, because we'll trip going over it. So they're not going to put the edging. They decided not to put the edging on the edge of the sidewalk until they put all the pavers down. So they'll put all the pavers down first on the sidewalk, then come back through and do the edging. So the same edging will come through here and go all the way around and connect to the side of the house, and then on the other side it will come that way and come through here and then connect, and boom, out it goes. So that is the plan. So they are just moving right along, just to kind of show you exactly like how they're doing it. So they're having to, you know, clearly come through and cut out the soil, because you've got to bury these guys. So they've got kind of a little bit of soil that they've had to throw out in different areas. And then they did come back through in the trench and put the gravel down, because that gives it that nice tight base. And so as they're working, they fill it in originally, and then as they work, they just kind of pile it up and then move it as they need to make sure that everything is level and straight. So they're working together as a team to make sure that everybody has all the supplies, making quick movement of it. So there you go. Many hands make light work for sure. I am their #1 cheerleader. That is my job today. You're doing great, guys. It's beautiful. It looks amazing. So I'm gonna grab Jerry, because we're gonna talk about this new flower bed that we're creating. Well, it's kind of a new flower bed. It was a flower bed. We're changing the flower bed. We're adapting it. So we're gonna talk to him for a second and look at this new, the old new bed.
Old and new.
Old and new come together. Alrighty, my friends. So this whole project is this one's fault. It's his idea. Because why? You dream, and you dream big.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to redo the whole front of the front beds and change all that up, but you know, I just really wasn't happy with the original sidewalk for a very long time, and then the water issues, and then from the very beginning we needed something that could hold in the gravel, and that's where the edging came from, right? And then so we had to come through here with our new drainage and ruin this bed, so you might as well just fix it.
Might as well make it bigger, right? I mean, you might as well just add a bigger garden to it. I mean, that's the way we are in that business, right? After all. So okay, so you, first of all, can you just step out just for a second so I can kind of show them? So remember, we've had the daylilies that have literally been here since we built the house, because we put the daylilies in. These all came from my mama. They're just yellow daylilies. It was to hold the water, to keep the water from completely washing out our front yard. So they came all the way up to where kind of Jesus is standing. And so when we were doing this, he had to remove the first couple of them to get the drain to come through, and it literally comes through, and you can kind of see right here, this is where it pops out into the grass. So we already had to mess up the bed, and then Mr. Man.
Yeah, so we had extra soil, and we just went ahead and expanded it out, and then we went and got more that we've been keeping to bring it out and raise it up.
Right, because it may be hard to see on camera, but there is a definite hump. It reminds me kind of like a giant pitcher's mound almost. And so it has definitely been raised up, and then it has a nice taper to it. Now, this is just our native soil, right? And so it came from somewhere on the property. I don't know, but I can't remember where it came from. At this point, we've moved dirt so much, I don't even know. So this is the native soil, and you can see that hose. This is just a garden hose that he has laid out, and so this is going to be the edge of the bed. He has some white marking paint, and that he's going to spray it, because we'll come back through with the edger. And if you can see, like even right through here, some of this grass is like funky grass, and so it has started to get up into the bed. So we're going to cut out some of that bed, just make it a little bit more even. Not that we're going to like be planting in there right now, but just to make that more even, and then it just tapers back to the original bed. So we're just going to kind of try to make it a little bit more even. So after this step, what are we going to do next?
Yeah, cut it out. Then I think we're going to put our organic matter on top, and then begin playing with the plant design. You got your umbrella tree that's going to go in the center-ish area, maybe, depending on what we choose to do. Maybe come back in the front with Perfecto Mundo azalea. And then after that, I don't really know yet.
Yeah, so there's lots of fun. This is where the fun begins, and we can go shop the nursery, because of course we have that umbrella pine that we got from our friends at Stowe's. So that cute little guy is going to go in here, and that was, other than having to move the daylily because of the drain, but we took out quite a bit more, because you were saying if we're going to make this brand new bed, we want to be able to see it from the house and the porch, and it's hard to see when you have these big giant daylilies.
Yeah, I like to be able to see it.
I mean, if we're going to go to all this work.
Yeah, and I think we can make it look like it's all meant together. It's just going to take some work to play around with some plants.
No, I think so too. So that's just the fun, and that's the design of it. So other than the umbrella tree, pine tree, the Perfectamundo double white azaleas that were originally in here, we'll put more back in here to kind of create that design that we were wanting. And then from there, it's fair game. We can have fun putting whatever we want in here, and lots of pops of colors and textures and movement and some fun stuff. So we, just on a little personal side note, we may be doing this tomorrow or this week. However, someone got jury summons. So I called tonight to see if I have to go or not. So if y'all don't see me for the rest of the week, and you see Jerry, you see Megan, you see Jackson, you see everybody but me, then you know that I'm on a jury. So anyway, that's, like I said, a little side note. But other than that, the guys are still going. Chandler is currently cutting the block. I think that he's cutting that block that's supposed to go on the corner down there that he needed. Jerry is going to come through and spray paint the line, so that way when we bring the bed edger through here, it makes it nice and easy. You know, this is the greatest little trick, is to get your garden hose and lay it out. So when you're thinking of doing a new flower bed, or you're redesigning, you're going to do the lines differently, get something that's super flexible, like a garden hose, because you can pick it up, you can move it, you can bend it, you can put curves in it, you can do whatever you need to. It's not heavy, it's very easy to move, and then you can get the paint and mark the paint. And even if you're a husband-wife, duo, and let's say Jerry does the white design, and then I'm like, I don't know, I think I like this, and then I move it and I spray paint mine with orange, well then there you go. You can have two different views and you can see which one you like better. So that's a great little hack to do. We will keep you up to date. Obviously, lots of stuff is going on right here, but we will bring you back as soon as possible and give you an update, and hopefully get some plants in the ground, because I am ready for them to be in the ground as opposed to hanging out in the back in my stash. As always, hope you found this fun, informative, inspirational. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.